Have you ever wondered why you were born on that exact day? Not earlier, not later, completely unchangeable? People often think of a birthday as just a date to remember. But for those who have ever sat in silence under the night sky and felt the presence of a higher being watching, they know this. Nothing is random. Every moment is delicately arranged like notes in the symphony of the universe. Psalm 139:16 once wrote, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." That verse is not just a comfort. It is confirmation that you were written into the sacred book long before your soul touched form. There is a secret language the universe uses to whisper to us, the language of numbers. Every number carries a vibration, a nature, a lesson. If you listen closely, you'll realize they exist, not just in calendars or time, but in your breath, in every heartbeat, in every step you take each day. When a number shows up repeatedly, it's no coincidence. It's a sign, a divine code sent to awaken a memory you've forgotten. The ancients believed that those who understand the frequency of their birth date will see the map of the soul, the path home. Each birthday is a gateway. Within it lies an archetype, a soul blueprint that you chose before entering this world. You are not just John, Sarah, or Min Ann. You are a warrior, a healer, a creator, a rebel, a sage, or a hermit, depending on the vow you made before stepping through the veil of time. And your life is the journey to remember that vow. From your very first cry, your soul has carried its own vibration, an invisible song that echoes throughout your life. Sometimes you lose it in the noise of the world, but then on quiet nights, when the moonlight falls gently on your pillow, you hear that faint melody again, whispering, "You are still on the journey. Don't forget." For ages, mystics have called this the sacred art of numbers, where mathematics becomes the language of the divine. In it, your birth date not only reveals your energy, but also shows the lesson your soul is learning. People born on the same day may look different, but they share the same invisible background music, a frequency that guides how they feel, think, and live through the deep current of life. Some fight to find meaning, some quietly heal the world, some create beauty from ashes, and some break old patterns to make way for new light. All are part of the great symphony called the evolution of the soul. But to understand your number, you must begin with stillness. Not the silence of the ears, but the quiet of the soul, where the voices of worry, comparison, and fear no longer speak. When your soul becomes quiet, your number will appear as a symbol, maybe through a dream, a series of coincidences, or a familiar feeling you cannot explain. That is the moment you hear the universe calling, "Remember who you are." This world may seem chaotic, but in truth, everything operates by laws so precise, it's astonishing. The sun rises each morning at the same time. The earth spins on its path. Seasons follow one another. The human heartbeat aligns with the rhythm of the planet. Every number in your birth date follows the same law. It is the energy signature you brought from the unseen to the seen. No one can copy it. No one can change it. When you begin to realize this, a door opens, and you understand. Life is not a string of random events, but a carefully designed journey to help you remember who you are. A numerologist once said, "Numbers don't tell you who you are, they tell you who you can become." Within each person lies the seed of 8 soul archetypes, 8 faces of the divine reflected through humanity. There is the warrior, who learns to turn fear into strength. There is the healer, who learns to love without losing themselves. There is the sage, who carries the light of wisdom to guide others. There is the creator, who finds God in the act of creating beauty. There is the mystic, who seeks truth in stillness. There is the hermit, who learns to listen to the voice of the soul. There is the teacher, who shares light as a sacred duty. And finally, there is the rebel, born to break chains and reignite spiritual freedom for the world. As you listen now, you might sense one archetype gently stirring inside you. A soft recognition, as if this story has always belonged to you. That is the first sign. You're not learning something new, you're remembering. Every soul has always known its essence. It's just that when we enter the physical world, we forget, so we have the privilege of finding it again. And that journey of rediscovery makes us deeper, kinder, and brighter. You may have gone through days of confusion, feeling lost, unsure why you were born. But know this, even in confusion, there is order. Even in darkness, there is meaning. Because light never abandons the dark, it only waits for us to open our eyes. The lamp of the Lord searches the spirit of a man. It searches out his inmost being. Proverbs 20:27. It is in the moment when you sit still and ask, "Who am I?" that the universe begins to answer. And if you still doubt that numbers can carry sacred messages, remember, every creation in the universe is woven by rhythm. From the frequency of electrons orbiting the nucleus, to the heartbeat of a baby, to the phases of the moon, everything is repetition. Everything is numbers singing. So when you see repeating sequences, 111, 222, 333, it's not a coincidence. It's a whisper, a message that you are on the right path, that the gates are opening. This journey isn't meant to trap you in symbols, but to help you realize that you were written in them. Each archetype is just a mirror, helping you see your own soul. And when all 8 archetypes are revealed, you will find yourself in every story, because your soul contains them all. Every number, every archetype, is just another face of the same light, the same source. Take a deep breath. Let your heart be still like a lake before dawn. In that space, you may hear a quiet sound, the rhythm of your number, the call of the archetype waiting for you. And when you are ready, we will walk through each gateway together, from the warrior to the healer, from the sage to the rebel, to realize that in the end, there is no one else to become but your own divine self. Because every number is simply the way God tells his story. Through you, there is a type of soul born in the fire of will. They come into this world not to stand on the sidelines, but to leave a mark. If your birth date falls on the 1st, 8th, 15th, or 26th, you may have felt it. A powerful surge of energy, like an unstoppable wave. You cannot stand still. There is always a voice inside you whispering, "Keep going, keep trying, keep moving forward." From the earliest years of your life, you had to learn to rise after every fall, to believe in yourself even when doubted, and to hold on to your faith when everything around you shakes. That is not just a personality trait. It is the mission of your soul, the calling of the warrior. The warrior is not born to live an easy life. They are chosen to become a symbol of strength and courage. But what few people know is that their power does not lie in muscles or a loud voice, but in an unwavering spirit. They carry the fire of beginnings, the number 1, the symbol of primal creation, of the will that gave birth to the world. They are pathfinders, the first to step into unknown lands. Within them burns a force that will not surrender, a light that can shine through even the darkest night. But that light only becomes radiant when they learn to face themselves. There comes a moment in every warrior's life, a moment when everything they believed in seems to fall apart. They fight for what is right, but the results betray them. They give their all, yet life remains cold. In that moment, the fire of trial burns away the outer shell of pride, allowing them to reach the core of who they are. Humility. True strength doesn't come from conquering the world, but from surrendering the ego. When they bow their heads in tears, their soul begins to grow. Blessed is the one the Lord disciplines, for he gives them peace in the storm. Psalm 94-12:13. In that endurance, God is forging their will like steel and fire, not to destroy them, but to refine them into something brighter. If you carry the energy of the warrior, you may recognize yourself in familiar signs. You don't trust easily, and you protect what's yours with your whole heart. You are loyal, but once betrayed, you withdraw in silence, not out of weakness, but because you understand the value of your energy. You hate lies, yet you hide your pain behind sarcasm, behind a cool smile. That's how you protect your heart, a survival instinct that has followed you through lifetimes. Deep down, you don't want anyone to see your wounds, because you fear that if you open up, you'll lose control. But within that fear lies your greatest lesson, learning to trust love. The warrior's soul mission is to transform the energy of control into the energy of trust. When they stop trying to control everything, they begin to hear the voice of their soul. One day, they will understand that not every battle needs to be fought. Some can only be won by surrendering to the sacred. When they lay down their sword, their heart opens, and the fire within becomes a guiding light that no longer burns others. The life of a warrior is a journey of balance. They are gifted with extraordinary strength, but if they are not mindful, that strength can turn into ambition, possessiveness, and the desire to control. That is why their greatest challenge is learning to use their power for good. The scriptures say, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights." Habakkuk 3:19. When the warrior remembers that their strength comes not from the ego but from the source, they become guardians of light, no longer prisoners of their own fire. In moments of loneliness, when everything seems to turn away, the warrior often hears the echo of their soul. It's not a loud voice, but a deep silence that demands to be heard with the heart. In that space is a reminder that they are never truly alone. Every scar they carry is a sacred seal. Every fall is a step closer to awakening. In the darkness of failure, they learn the lesson of light. That courage is not the absence of fear, but walking forward even when fear remains. As the warrior matures spiritually, they begin to transform the energy of conflict into the energy of creation. They no longer need to prove themselves, and instead use their strength to help others rise. They become an inspiration, a beacon of hope to weary souls. Once the warrior understands that the greatest victory is the one over self, they become unshakable. They know how to forgive, how to be gentle, and they understand that every challenge is simply love in disguise. The warrior is also someone who deeply understands the value of discipline. They are not afraid of hard work, not afraid of effort, because they know that only through practice can the soul shine. But their discipline is no longer rigid. It becomes a form of prayer through action. Every morning they wake up, look in the mirror, and tell themselves, "I was chosen to be strong, to be steady, to light the way for others." They are not perfect, but they are honest with their journey. And it is that honesty that causes the universe to clear the path ahead of them. Deep down, the warrior knows they are not fighting alone. They can feel an invisible hand on their shoulder whenever they are about to fall. The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31:8. It is this faith that helps them rise again, even when the winds of life blow against them. And every time they rise, the world around them shifts a little, because in their eyes, others see hope. If you feel that you belong to this archetype, know that your soul was born with the mission to lead. But to do that, you must learn how to protect the light without dimming it. Remember that kindness does not make you weak. It completes your strength. A true warrior does not use the sword to destroy, but to open the way. They do not fight for ego, but for love. And the moment they realize that every enemy is only a reflection of themselves, they reach true freedom. The universe sends souls like these into the world to teach humanity the lesson of courage. Because in a world full of fear, the one who dares to love in the midst of pain is the true hero. The warrior knows that real strength is not found in shouting, but in the quiet persistence of the heart. And when they walk, with no need for recognition or applause, only knowing that every step leaves behind a trail of light, that is when they have fulfilled their mission. Within each of us is a part of the warrior. It is the part that pushes us not to give up, no matter how many challenges life throws our way. When we hear that inner voice, that gentle whisper saying, "Stand up, keep going," it is the warrior spirit awakening. And from that moment on, we are no longer lost, but someone who has found the path. Because the fire of the warrior doesn't just burn away outer darkness, it lights the way back to our true self. There are souls who come into this world not to conquer, but to comfort. They do not make noise with strength, but with a warm presence that makes others feel safe. If you were born on the 2nd, 6th, 16th, or 23rd, you carry the frequency of water, gentle, deep, and compassionate. You are the healer, a soul chosen to mend broken hearts, to teach the world that compassion is also a form of strength. But because of that, you often carry the deepest wounds. From a young age, you may have felt the emotions of others as clearly as your own. When someone was sad, your heart felt heavy. When they were joyful, your heart lit up too. That is a gift, but also a burden. Sometimes you don't know why you're exhausted, only that a wave of emotion is moving through you, and it's not even yours. You always want to help, to understand, to do something so others can feel lighter. But in those efforts, there are times you forget yourself. You slowly run dry without even noticing. The healer's journey begins in personal pain. No one can heal others without first being broken. You may have been betrayed, abandoned, or loved, without being loved in return. You've cried in silence, felt your heart shatter into pieces. But within those ruins, the seed of healing was planted. One day, when you rise again, you'll look back and realize everything had a reason. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 140, 7-3. And you are the vessel through which that love flows. The healer doesn't work with magic. They heal with presence. Sometimes, just by sitting beside someone without saying a word, without giving advice, just seeing and listening the world becomes a little lighter. They are emotional mirrors, helping others see themselves more clearly. But the most important lesson they must learn is boundaries. Because without protecting their energy, they risk losing their identity and taking on too much pain that isn't theirs. The healer must understand that kindness does not always mean sacrifice. Sometimes, to love is to walk away. Sometimes, to help is to say no. And sometimes, to heal is to let others face their own lessons. Love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22:39. But the words, as yourself, are what they often forget. Love cannot keep flowing from an empty cup. That's why the first step to healing the world is learning to heal yourself. In lonely moments, the healer often falls into a strange silence, an emptiness no words can fill. But this is not a sign of being lost. It is the universe's invitation to turn inward. Within that stillness, their heart is reborn. They begin to realize they are not the only source of energy. There is a sacred, endless stream ready to flow through them. When they stop trying to give from their own strength and begin to let God love through them, they find freedom. The healer lives by intuition. They feel more than they reason. They know when to speak, when to stay silent, when to touch a wound, and when to leave it be. It's the wisdom only those who have bled can understand. And as they grow, they become grateful for the past wounds, because those very wounds have made them gentle. Every crack in the heart is a place where the light gets in, and through that light, they shine with kindness. If you see yourself in this archetype, remember you don't have to fix anyone. The world doesn't need you to make everything better. It needs you to be real, smile, live sincerely. Let your love radiate through your eyes, your voice, your listening. That alone is healing. Because people won't always remember what you said, they'll remember how safe they felt with you. But sometimes, you also need to let others heal you. Open your heart to receive, not just give. When you allow yourself to be loved, you're teaching the world that healing is a two-way flow. Every soul has moments of weakness, even the strongest ones. And in those moments, God gently reminds you that you too deserve care. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:2-3. In that peace you are renewed, and the healing energy within you becomes clearer than ever. Perhaps you're hearing these words and feeling something stir in your heart. If so, let go. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel. Share this story, or simply leave a quiet comment as your way of telling the universe that you've heard the call. Every time you share, you're not just spreading the message, you're activating a current of loving energy through yourself and into others. That's how light spreads gently, naturally, without force. The healer is the soul of connection. They teach the world that tenderness is not weakness, but the highest form of courage. Because to love in a wounded world requires deep faith. They are the embodiment of that faith, carrying in their eyes the light of compassion, and in their hands the warmth of forgiveness. When they embrace someone, it's as if the whole universe breathes easier. And when the healer reaches the highest point of their path, they become a bridge between heaven and earth. They no longer see themselves as the one who heals, but as one who opens the heart for God to work through. They no longer feel burdened by suffering, because they understand that within every pain lies the seed of rebirth. Their light no longer flickers. It glows steadily like a candle in a sacred chapel, small yet eternal. This world deeply needs healers. It needs those who listen before they speak, who love without conditions, who cry with others without judgment. If you live within that energy, never doubt your power. Even if you are just one quiet soul in the crowd, your gentleness can shift the energy in an entire room, maybe even change someone's entire day. And perhaps, in that moment, you've already fulfilled your purpose without needing to do anything more. The healer doesn't need to stand on the mountaintop. They just need to be there in every encounter, Every word, every glance, every step they take is like a drop of cool water falling on the dry desert of the world. And when they are gone, the world feels a little softer, a little kinder, because once they walked here, there are souls who come into this world with eyes that see beyond the surface of all things. They don't just see objects, they see the meaning behind them. If you were born on the 3rd, 9th, 18th, or 25th, you carry the frequency of enlightened knowledge, the energy of the sage, a soul sent here to understand, to illuminate, and to share the truth that the universe whispers in silence. To you, life has never been just a series of events. It is a string of codes, each experience a sign, each person a lesson. You were born to seek truth, even if it means walking through the darkness of confusion. From an early age, you may have felt different. While others were caught up in simple joys, you were already wondering, why are we here? What lies beyond the sky? Is there a deeper meaning to it all? Some may have called you a dreamer. Others said you overthink. But your soul knew it couldn't live without understanding. Knowledge is breath. It is nourishment for your spirit. You read, you ask, you observe, not to appear intelligent, but because deep down, you're searching for the path back to the original light. The sage is the embodiment of wisdom that bridges both mind and heart. They know that knowledge only holds value when it is infused with love. Because intellect without compassion is nothing but a cold blade. That's why their journey is one of integration of understanding and humility, of logic and faith. They learn not just to read scripture, but to hear it speak through their lived experience. The lamp of the Lord searches the spirit of a man. It searches out his inmost being. Proverbs 20:27. When their soul is lit by that lamp, the questions that once kept them awake are finally answered, not through reason, but through stillness. In life, the sage often draws others in with their eyes that are deep, kind, and seem to hold something unspoken. People come to them to ask, to share, to seek answers, not realizing that their calm presence is already the answer. They don't speak often, and when they do, their words carry weight as if written in an eternal language. But they too must learn balance, for it's easy to get lost in thoughts and forget the joy of the present moment. Part of their lesson is to pause and simply live to remember that truth is not only in books, but also in a child's gaze, in the sound of the wind, in the scent of morning coffee. The sage is born to be a guiding light. They don't force their beliefs on others, they illuminate by example, by the way they live. They know no one can be awakened by words, only by readiness. So they quietly do their work, writing, teaching, listening, and sharing. Like someone carrying a torch through the night. They don't shout, they don't command others to follow. They simply believe that if the light shines bright enough, others will find their way. On their path, they stumble many times. They may fall into the trap of intellectual pride, believing they know it all. And then, the universe humbles them by letting them get lost in their own knowledge. Only when they learn to kneel and admit, "I don't know," does true wisdom unfold. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1-7. This verse becomes the compass that keeps the sage from straying, reminding them that the source of all understanding doesn't lie in the mind, but in the spirit. Someone of this archetype often feels deep joy in learning and teaching. But for them, teaching isn't standing on a pedestal. Teaching is sharing. Teaching is living truthfully. In every conversation, every moment, someone seeks their guidance. They see a chance to plant light. They don't see themselves as above anyone, they see every soul as both student and teacher. In that exchange, both grow. They understand that sharing is the fastest path to learning, and sometimes the sage must also relearn the lesson of lightness. They are so deep, so serious, that they forget wisdom exists not only in contemplation, but also in laughter, in playfulness, in the vibrance of life. In those moments, the universe sends them a friend, a child, or a silly situation to whisper, "Have fun." Truth is not a burden. It's a joy to see things clearly. And when they laugh, their light expands even more, because wisdom not only guides, it warms. When the sage reaches the mature stage of their soul journey, they become guardians of humanity's light. They don't need titles or recognition. They know they are torchbearers, part of a long line of souls who have carried the flame. Every book they write, every insight they offer, Every authentic reflection they share is a small lantern left along the path so that others may see and walk forward. And when they leave, their light remains never extinguished. If you are part of this archetype, trust that your longing to understand is not meaningless curiosity, but a call from the soul. Learn, ask, read, but also listen, feel, love. Share your light not to prove that you know, but to help others find meaning alongside you. Because knowledge only becomes wisdom when it is given from an open heart. The universe is always seeking sages to serve as bridges between insight and compassion. And if you're hearing these words, perhaps you are one of them. When you speak with kindness, when you help someone see what they never saw before, you are fulfilling your mission. He who has ears, let him hear. For sometimes, a sincere word or a clear gaze is enough to open the door to an entire awakening. The sage doesn't seek the light, they are the light. They only need to remember that. And when they live true to this essence, their wisdom is no longer just their own. It becomes humanity's lantern, shining the way for every lost soul still wandering through the night, searching for home. There are souls who cannot live without creating something, a song, an idea, a rhythm, something beautiful that has never existed before. If you were born on the 4th, 10th, 17th, or 27th, your soul belongs to the frequency of the Creator, the one chosen to bring the breath of the divine into the material world. You are here to turn the invisible into the visible, to make the sacred tangible seen by the eyes, heard by the ears, felt by the heart. From childhood, you may have felt different. Where others saw just a room, you saw possibilities. Where they heard a sound, you sensed the rhythm behind it. You live in the world of imagination, where ideas arrive like lightning and disappear just as quickly, like the wind. You may have been labeled as a dreamer, moody, or unfocused, but in truth, you are flowing with the creative current of the universe, where time is not linear, where inspiration doesn't follow human logic. The Creator lives with a beautiful paradox, both disciplined and spontaneous. There are days you work tirelessly, and days when you feel like doing nothing at all. But those lazy days are not escape. They are incubation. Ideas within you are seeds that must rest in darkness before they sprout. The universe works through you in silence, and when the time comes, your fingers will begin to move, your pen will begin to write, your eyes will see images you've never imagined before. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord. Colossians 3:23. And for the Creator, every small act, every brushstroke, every word, every sound can become a prayer. You do not create to be in the spotlight. In truth, the authentic Creator doesn't care much for the stage lights. What they seek is the sacred joy of making that moment when human hands join with the breath of God. In that moment, there is no me and divine, only one. They become a channel through which creative energy flows. And when the work is finished, whether a painting, a melody, or a small project, they feel a deep joy, not because of praise, but because they brought light from the invisible into the visible. However, this journey is not easy. The Creator often battles doubt and self-judgment. There are days you feel not good enough, not worthy, not original. You look around, and the world seems too noisy, too full of talented people. You fear your voice will be lost. But remember, the universe doesn't need you to be the best. It needs you to be real. When you create from love and not from fear, every work becomes a stream of healing energy. And that is what sets you apart. The Creator is gifted with the ability to see beauty in the ordinary. Where others see ruin, you see rebirth. Where they see an ending, you see a beginning. You are the one who sees rainbows in the storm. And that is your gift, helping humanity remember that light has never disappeared, only waited to be seen. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10. This verse is a reminder. You are living proof that God's creation continues. Some creators choose the path of art. They paint, they write, they play music. Others create through the way they work, raise children, or see the world. Creation is not only about making new things, but about making the ordinary sacred. When you arrange a cozy corner, cook a meal with love, or say something kind that makes someone smile, you are creating. Because creation, at its core, is not about the product, but the state of connection with source energy. The creator often goes through seasons of solitude. They feel unseen, misunderstood, but that is part of the journey. In loneliness, they hear the soul's whisper. In stillness, ideas are born. Just as stars shine against the night sky, the silence becomes fertile ground for creation. And when the light returns, they know it was always perfect. Another challenge the creator faces is becoming too attached to their work. They feel deeply when misunderstood, hurt when criticized. But they learn, creation does not belong to them, it belongs to the source. They are simply the messenger. And when they truly understand this, the fear dissolves. They create, then release. They do their part and leave the rest to the universe. In that release, their energy becomes pure, stronger than ever before. When the creator reaches spiritual awakening, they don't just make something beautiful, they become something beautiful. Their life becomes the masterpiece. They no longer try to create, because they are the embodiment of creation itself. Every word they speak, every step they take, carries a healing frequency. They make others want to live more honestly, to do something meaningful. And through them, God continues to create the world once more. If you feel you belong to this archetype, don't be afraid when ideas come and go. Trust that everything arrives in its time. Honor the empty spaces, for in silence, creative energy is being born. Let your life become a symphony where every breath, every action is a brushstroke of love. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. The Creator is proof that God never stopped creating. He is still writing, still painting, still composing through your hands, your eyes, your heart. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present, honest, feeling, and alive with the flame inside you. Because that flame, once lit, will shine a path for other souls still searching for their sacred origin. There are souls who do not seek answers in noise, but in the stillness as deep as the ocean. They don't ask the world, they ask themselves. If you were born on the 5th, 7th, 19th, or 28th, you carry the frequency of the mystic, the soul of silence, of inner vision, of quiet conversations with the divine. You are someone whose inner world is so vast, it's often beyond words. Others may look at you and see calmness, but within you, the universe is moving, spiraling deep, like the galaxies of consciousness. The mystic is born with a desire to experience truth, not just understand it. You are not satisfied with pre-written teachings, nor do you want others to tell you, this is the truth. You want to touch it yourself. That desire makes your path a solitary one. You may feel separate from the world, not belonging to any group, but that isn't a punishment. It is a blessing. The universe chose you to walk inward, to open invisible gates. And in that solitude, you learn an invaluable lesson. Silence is the language of the soul. You may remember moments when life suddenly paused in the middle of the night, in the rain, or on a faraway journey. All at once, you felt yourself merge with space, as if there were no boundary between you and everything. That was your soul's first touch with the sacred. No sound, no blinding light, just pure presence. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That verse is your sacred mantra, a reminder that every answer is already within you, waiting for you to sit down and listen. The mystic lives in the world of symbols and intuition. To you, everything carries a second meaning, a breeze, maybe a message, a number, a sign, a dream, a meeting with the divine. But you also understand that the deeper you go, the more alert you must be. Spiritual darkness sometimes wears the mask of light. Your path requires deep discernment to know what is the true voice of your soul and what is the ego's longing to feel special. Humility is your armor, keeping you from getting lost in the maze of your own awareness. The mystic is also a lone traveler. You often walk alone, not out of pride, but because you understand that every deepest journey is a solitary one. In that solitude, you face your fears, fear of meaninglessness, of loss, of dissolving. But when you dare to look them in the eye, you see that fear is only the shadow of light not yet recognized. And when you see yourself as that light, all darkness fades. In that moment, Silence no longer frightens you, it becomes your dearest companion. Your spiritual journey is not about escaping the world, but understanding it from within. The true mystic does not reject the physical life, they simply learn to see through it. They see God in the smallest details, in a speck of dust, in a breath, in the heartbeat of a stranger. When they look at someone, they don't see a separate human being, they see a part of the infinite temporarily taking form. That vision humbles them, because they know nothing is truly separate. The mystic also faces an inner battle, the tension between intuition and doubt. Sometimes, you hear that inner voice, but don't know if you should trust it. You fear it's only imagination. But over time, you come to see that voice, gentle, clear, and full of love, is the Spirit speaking to you. It never commands, only suggests. It never demands, only invites. And when you follow it, everything flows. Coincidences unfold. The right people appear. Doors open softly. That's how you know you're on the right path. In today's noisy world, the energy of the mystic is rare, the energy of slowing down. You remind others that they don't always need to act. Sometimes, they just need to be. You teach that stillness is not empty, it is full of life. When you sit quietly, you are not doing nothing, you are in communion with the universe, with your soul, with the Creator. One of the mystic's greatest lessons is accepting the unknown. You don't have to understand everything to feel the truth. Some of God's mysteries cannot be grasped by the mind, they can only be felt through humility and trust. And when you accept not knowing, you open your heart to the miraculous. Because in the unknown, the soul becomes free. Mystics don't speak much, but when they do, their words sink deep. They speak from experience, not from books. They may remain silent for months, then say one sentence that echoes in someone's mind for a lifetime. That is the power of trained stillness. And when they pass through someone's life, they leave a unique imprint, not with words, but with a calm presence that lingers. If you feel you belong to this archetype, remember, the loneliness you feel is a sign of divine selection. You are not being left behind, you are being set apart to hear what others cannot yet hear. Keep your humility, keep your stillness. Trust the invisible guidance. You will make known to me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. Psalm 16:11. When you live in the light of that awareness, every step becomes meditation. Every moment becomes prayer. The mystic is a soul of depth and insight. They do not need to prove, do not need to be understood. They only need to live truly quietly, but powerfully. And in their silence, the world finds its breath again. They are proof that the shortest path to meet God is not out there, but inward. When the world is loud, the mystic closes their eyes, and in that breath, they touch the infinite. No words, no pleading, only presence. And in that presence, the soul merges with the original light, where there is no separation, where God and human are one. There are souls who are not afraid of loneliness, because they understand that loneliness is not an emptiness, but a space where the soul speaks loudest. If you were born on the 11th, 24th, or 30th, you carry the frequency of the hermit, the soul of stillness, of contemplation, of those moments when the outside world fades and only the breath of your inner self remains. You are someone who doesn't need noise to feel alive, because you find richness in silence. While others run from loneliness, you find in it the light of truth. From a young age, you may have felt different not out of pride, but because you couldn't blend into shallow pleasures. You love quiet afternoons, melancholic music, old books with the scent of time. You observe more than you speak, listen more than you react. You can sense the energy in a room, know when to speak and when to remain silent. To you, music is not just melody, it is the language of the soul, a place where you find yourself within wordless sound. The hermit does not run from the world, they simply choose to step back in order to see more clearly. They understand that the voice of God cannot be heard through the noise of ambition, so they choose a slower pace, a quieter path. In that stillness, they notice the beauty others miss: the dew on a leaf, the shifting light on a wall, the steady rhythm of their own breath, and, in those tiny details, they recognize something vast, that God is present in everything. If we are still enough to see, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Psalm 23:2. That verse is the universe's whisper to you. In a world that spins too fast, you are the one who reminds humanity that we cannot hear the voice of the soul when the mind is too loud. You don't need to prove or explain anything. Your silence is itself an invitation, calling others to pause and listen too. The hermit has the ability to see the depth of human emotion. You are not afraid of tears, not afraid of darkness. You understand that sorrow is not an enemy, but a teacher. There are nights you sit alone. Your heart is low and quiet as a slow song. And within that stillness, you feel a delicate light, a peace no one ever taught you, only felt. It is in solitude that you learn the most sacred lesson. Happiness does not come from the outside, but from inner acceptance. Yet the hermit's path is not without challenge. The line between solitude and isolation is thin. There are moments when you feel the world does not understand you, and you withdraw further into the dark. You begin to believe you don't belong to anyone, that no one truly sees you. But that is only an illusion. The universe has never abandoned you. In the moment you feel most alone is when God is closest, because he knows you can only hear him when all other voices have gone quiet. The hermit must learn how to return to the world after their time of reflection. For light only fulfills its purpose when shared. After long stretches of stillness, come out again, even if only through a simple conversation, a small act of kindness, a glance filled with empathy. You were not born to hide forever. You were born to bring the light of stillness to souls lost in the noise. You don't need to change anyone, just be present. When someone stands near you and feels peace, you have already fulfilled your purpose. One of the hermit's greatest gifts is the ability to connect with subtle beauty. You can hear emotion in a single note, see a story in the eyes of a stranger, understand what isn't spoken. You sense the in-between, the space between two breaths, between two notes, between two words. And it is in that space where life truly happens. He speaks in the silence. He who has ears, let him hear. That is how your soul operates by sounds only the still can hear. The hermit is also a teacher of patience. You know that nothing can be rushed. Every seed needs time to bloom. And in the waiting, you find beauty in not yet. You understand that silence is not delay. It is preparation. When the time is right, the universe will open the door, and you will simply walk through. For now, all you need is to be here, in the present, in your breath, in peace. If you feel connected to this archetype, know that you don't need to change your quiet nature. That is your gift. In a world growing louder, you are the precious stillness that makes life's music whole. Let yourself enjoy your silence, and also share it through gentle living. A cup of tea, a slow word, a soft smile. Sometimes these are the most beautiful prayers. The hermit is a soul that reminds us silence can heal, that even among all the noise, there is still a place for the heart to rest. And when they walk by, no one hears their footsteps, but everyone feels the air shift softer, clearer, calmer, because they carry something unseen yet powerful, the peace of God within. Your journey, dear hermit, is not about seeking the light outside, but learning how to become the light within the darkness. Because when you are silent long enough, you will hear what the whole world has forgotten, the sound of life echoing from within. And in that moment, you will know you were never truly alone. There are souls born with eyes that naturally seek to light the way for others, not through power, but through understanding and patience. If you were born on the 12th, 13th, 21st, or 29th, you carry the frequency of the teacher, the archetype of guidance, of wisdom forged through experience, of a heart that gives without expecting anything in return. You didn't come to this world to say you know more, but to remind humanity that everyone has a light within that's waiting to be awakened. From early on, you likely showed a tendency to observe and connect. While others acted on emotion, you searched for the root cause. In conflict, you became the peacemaker. When questions arose, you were the one people turned to. But behind your calm presence is a soul that has endured many trials. You didn't become a teacher because you never stumbled, quite the opposite. It was through your falls that you came to understand the depth of life. And in learning how to rise again, you gathered an invisible treasure, wisdom, paired with compassion. The teacher doesn't teach with words alone, they teach through how they live. They don't try to convince, they inspire. Within them is a rare integrity, Their words and actions are one. When they promise, they follow through. When they teach, they listen. When they lead, they walk alongside, not ahead. They understand that no one can be dragged into the light, only invited. And the true teacher is the one who creates the space for others to see themselves. The teacher has a natural gift for organizing and guiding. They see the bigger picture, the connection between things that seem unrelated. That's why others often seek them out for advice, direction, or simply to be heard. But behind this role lies a great responsibility to remain humble, because knowledge can easily turn into pride if not grounded in compassion. They must always remember they are not the source of light. They are the lamp reflecting the light of the divine. The teacher knows that teaching is a two-way path. Every time they help someone discover a lesson, a part of their own soul is illuminated too. You who teach others, do you not teach yourself? Romans 2:21. This verse is a reminder that students are mirrors companions in the journey of awakening. A true teacher does not seek students for admiration, but for shared growth in the light of understanding. Yet the path of the teacher is not always easy. There are times when they feel tired, when their guidance is ignored, when they are misunderstood, when their kindness is mistaken for control. At times, it feels like they're speaking to a wall, but in the silence, they remember the one who sows the seed is not meant to decide when it will bloom. Their job is to plant. The blossoming belongs to time. And through that patience, their soul is refined, learning to trust the divine process. The teacher lives with love and discipline. They have clear principles, but a gentle heart. They are not forceful, but they are steady. To them, truth does not need decoration. It only needs to be spoken with love. Each time they share something, they pray that their words become seeds of awakening, not division. And they trust that every action rooted in love will find its way back to the light. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars, forever and ever. Daniel 12:3. Sometimes, teacher, you may feel torn. One part of you wants to serve and share, but another part wants to withdraw and be silent. That's because you understand the power of words. You know that to speak something aloud can change someone's soul. That's why you only speak when truly moved by spirit. And that is what gives your voice the energy of authenticity. The teacher also learns to let others walk their own path. No lesson truly belongs to us until we've lived it ourselves. That's why they don't pull, don't push, don't force. They simply open the door, place the lamp at the threshold, and wait. They trust that when the soul is ready, the student will find their way. And when that moment comes, they are no longer the teacher, but a spiritual companion, exploring the sacred alongside them. When spiritually mature, the teacher becomes a calm light in a turbulent world. They don't need a podium, because the way they live is already a lesson. They teach through their steady eyes, through facing suffering without complaint, through silent kindness. And those who come near that energy feel their hearts soften, as if they've just heard a lecture without words. If you are hearing these words and feel something stir in your heart, you may be a teacher being called back to your purpose. Trust that everything you've been through, every pain, every mistake has been a lesson, so that you can help others move through their own darkness. Never doubt the value of your presence. Every time you listen to someone with your whole heart, you are already teaching them how to love. The teacher is a soul who carries a sacred responsibility to keep the flame of wisdom alive. In a world that is slowly forgetting the truth, you are the one who remembers and reminds. You are the keeper of dawn, standing in the dark to light the way for those still unsure. Continue sharing that light, not through striving, but through your presence. Because when you live in alignment with who you are, your peace becomes the greatest lesson for humanity. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize you weren't just teaching others, you were learning, together with them, how to return to the light. Because in the end, every teacher and every student is a pupil of the same source, the one who, in stillness, is always teaching us through the eternal language of love. There are souls born not to conform, but to awaken. They look at this world with all its rules, beliefs, and structures, and within them there rings a voice that cannot be silenced. Something is not right. If you were born on the 14th, 20th, 22nd, or 31st, you carry within you the energy of the rebel, the archetype of freedom, of truth, of souls who refuse to live a dream written by others. You do not rebel to destroy. You rebel to recreate, to rediscover the true nature of life. From childhood, you may have found yourself unable to accept things just because everyone does them. You cannot simply listen and believe. You must feel, experience, test for yourself. Maybe because of this, you were once seen as stubborn, hard to teach, even odd. But in the eyes of the divine, you are not obstinate. You are courageous, daring to ask the questions others are afraid to ask. Thanks to souls like you, the world is pushed forward. The rebel carries within a fire of awareness, and also the loneliness of one who doesn't easily belong. You love deeply, trust strongly. Yet when betrayed, you withdraw not out of resentment, but because you need space to find balance again. You possess an absolute loyalty to what you believe is right. When you love with your whole being. When you protect someone, it is as if you protect yourself. But at times, that intensity causes you to be misunderstood. You don't trust easily because you know trust is sacred, and once given, you expect it to be worthy. This world often fears people like you because you ask questions, because you refuse to bow. But what they don't understand is, you are not fighting people. You are fighting illusions. You don't want to demolish the system, you want to renew it. You are the voice of the soul among a sleeping society, reminding that humans were born not to obey, but to co-create with the divine. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. That verse seems written for you, an invitation to use your awareness to light a path for others. The rebel never accepts this is the only way. They understand that every belief, even spiritual ones, if not examined, can become shackles. So your journey is one of dismantling sacred illusions, daring to unravel things thought untouchable, to find the real divine inside, not just outside forms. Yet the path of the rebel is not without storm. Sometimes you are misunderstood as cold, arrogant, or distant. Sometimes you wander between freedom and isolation. When you destroy too much, you may lose direction. But remember, true freedom is not having no limits, but choosing your limits from love, not from fear. You don't need to fight the world, you just need to be true to your soul. When you live authentically, every chain falls away. The most mature rebel is one who understands that freedom and love are not opposed. Love does not imprison, and freedom does not isolate. You can be fully yourself and still deeply connected to others. When you look at someone without judgment, you teach them that they too have the right to be themselves. And so every encounter becomes an act of liberation. You also carry a mission to awaken those who sleep, not by shouting or protesting, but by your unyielding living truth. When you dare to live differently, you inspire others to believe they can too. When they see you not afraid of being different, they will dare to live authentically. And so, you become a guiding flame, though no one gave you a title. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. That truth is not out there. It lives in your breath, in each action you choose each day. The rebel doesn't oppose the divine, they help humanity return to the divine on their own terms. For to you, God is not confined in doctrine, nor fixed rules, but in life that moves, renews every second. When you paint, sing, love, forgive, dare to speak the truth in those moments you serve the divine. If you hear these words and feel something stirring inside you, know this. Your free soul is being called back. Don't be afraid of being different. Don't try to please the world. You were born to pave your own way, and that way cannot be drawn by anyone else. Trust the light within you, even when darkness surrounds you. Let every choice, every breath of yours, be a declaration that freedom and love can coexist, because in the end, the rebel does not fight the world, they transform it. They don't destroy, they renew. They don't shout calls to arms, they whisper with lives of truth. And through them, humanity learns that each soul has the right to be free, to be loved, to become themselves in the most sacred way. When the journey draws to its close, we begin to see the larger picture, where all archetypes, all numbers, all souls are no longer separate. The warrior, the healer, the sage, the creator, the mystic, the hermit, the teacher, and the rebel. 8 paths, 8 shades of the same single entity, the soul of humanity. Each of us is a note in that cosmic symphony. When each note resonates at its true frequency, the entire orchestra becomes complete. Looking back, we see this journey was not only to learn your archetype by birth date, but to recognize yourself through each fragment of light. The warrior teaches us courage. The healer teaches us love. The sage teaches us understanding. The creator teaches us to believe in miracles. The mystic teaches us stillness. The hermit teaches us acceptance. The teacher teaches us sharing. And the rebel teaches us freedom. When these 8 lessons merge, the human soul reaches the highest level of awareness, unity in the light of the source. At this point, we realize numbers were never merely numbers. They are the language of the divine, the heartbeat of the universe, the way the story of us is told. Slowly, symbolically, but completely. Every birth date is a whisper. This is your identity. This is your gift to the world. When you understand that, you stop comparing. You stop envying. You just want to live in your frequency, because you know that just one misplaced note can make the whole symphony lose its harmony. Maybe by now you have recognized your archetype, the soul whose story touched you most deeply. But remember, you are not just one archetype. You are the sum of them all. Within you is the courage of the warrior, the compassion of the healer, the wisdom of the sage, the creativity of the creator, the stillness of the mystic, the depth of the hermit, the guidance of the teacher, and the spirit of the rebel. The universe never divides you. Only through lifetimes does one aspect awaken more strongly to help you master the full lesson of light. There is a sacred truth known to all awakened souls. In the light of the divine, we begin to see clearly. Every journey, whether filled with pain or glory, leads us to that inner light, because it doesn't live in distant heavens. It shines through your eyes, your voice, your hands, your heart. You are the dwelling place of something holy, and when you live in alignment with your sacred nature, the divine becomes visible in the world through you. The world today needs that light more than ever. Amidst the noise, competition, and growing fear, awakened souls like you are small but enduring flames, keeping humanity from forgetting its origin. You may not call yourself a guide, but simply by being true, you become a silent beacon for others. A word of encouragement, a kind act, a glance of compassion. These are the ways you quietly bring light into the world. When you understand your archetype, don't stop at knowledge. Live it. Let the energy of your number become a prayer in motion. If you are the warrior, stand up for what is right. If you are the healer, spread love. If you are the sage, offer wisdom. If you are the creator, make beauty. If you are the mystic, hold stillness. If you are the hermit, bring peace. If you are the teacher, be an example. If you are the rebel, live truthfully and let freedom guide others home. Each archetype is a soul's vow. When we live our vow, we step into union with the source, where there is no longer separation between me and the divine. Every act, how we speak, how we love, how we forgive, becomes an expression of higher truth through the human form. That is the deepest awakening. Not seeking heaven far away, but remembering that heaven lives in each breath. There are no mistakes in the universe. The day you were born was not random. It is your soul's compass, the key to your mission, a message only you can decode. And when you finally understand that message, you no longer feel small or lost. You see that every hardship, every joy, every failure and triumph has been a note in your soul's great song. No moment wasted, no lesson in vain. There may still be unanswered questions within you, and that's a good thing. These questions keep the soul alive and curious. Awakening is not a destination, but a constant unfolding. In that movement, we learn how to love, how to understand, how to forgive, not just others, but ourselves. So when this story ends, don't close your heart. Take it with you into your work, your relationships, your everyday choices. Let each day become a new page in your living scripture, where your birth number is no longer a dry symbol, but a vibrant reminder of your soul learning its way home to the light. And when you look up at the night sky, seeing stars twinkle far above, remember, each star is a soul, an archetype, a number, a journey. Together they form the great harmony of the cosmos, and your light is an irreplaceable part of it. Without you, the music would be incomplete. So live deeply, beautifully, authentically. Let your light touch the world, not by being perfect, but simply by being present. Because in the end, all of us belong to something greater. And when every soul remembers that, this earth, no matter how chaotic, will once again echo the song of harmony, the song of love, the song of souls who have remembered. We are light. Grateful that you chose to spend these moments in the light of this story. If it touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so the next whisper of light may find its way back to you.